Well, I would love to tell you that it's a beautiful morning here in South Georgia, but it probably is a beautiful morning. It's almost a full moon, but I'm dog sick. I mean, dog sick. We trapped hogs early yesterday morning. It didn't feel too good when I got out there in the woods. Ended up doing some maintenance on a couple systems. Came home, jumped in the truck, went to watch Wyatt play baseball, and I was trying to stay awake watching him play baseball. And came home, and like 12 hairy ninja monkeys who clearly just were not happy with the world jumped on me. Head, throat, sinus, body aches, my scalp hurts. Yeah, it's a bad jump. So anyway, I went to bed early. I didn't sleep much. The wife, I guess in that situation would be the boss. The boss was watching one of our systems. It's a group of piglets and some juveniles. We've been watching them. It's a new property for us. We've been watching them for months. But they started acting kind of weird, and they were like big buddies, and then all of a sudden we had one juvenile that it wasn't working. Social issues. Really amazing to kind of watch how that all played out. So she watched that particular system for us, woke me up, and I did flip the switch. I regret it, but I did. I got really worried that one juvenile was going to be problematic for us. So we're loaded up. I'm not taking anybody with me. I didn't really want anybody in the truck with me, just breathing the same daggum air that whatever's in these ninjas, these hairy ninja monkeys that are inside my lungs. I don't want nobody in the house to get this crap. I mean, it's so bad that when the baby came up to give me like some good morning kisses, I was like, hey baby, don't, because you don't want this junk. So when you don't want your dog to get your junk, that's bad. So with all that being said, I'm gonna try to be happy, Mr. Happy Bird, but I doubt it. So I'm just on autopilot right now. So we're gonna buzz up there. These aren't some big hogs. We've got a hog in another system that we're watching, and if he does come in, I will flip on him. So I'm geared up for him too. But anyway, hang on. So we're about to the property. I'm a little bit more awake now. Really foggy this morning. I mean, bad foggy. You can see it on the cameras. If you're ever trying to trap when it's foggy, generally, and I think we're going to do a video, or we did a video on this. If you take a picture, just ask the camera to take a picture. Don't wait for a motion picture. A lot of times, if you ask for a picture, you can catch it between like a little breeze of wind, and you'll see the trap will clear up, and then 30 seconds later, it's all foggy again. It's tough to trap when it's foggy when you're looking at cameras, but what we typically do is just stay on that camera, just keep asking for pictures, and hopefully we'll get that picture that it's between the little breeze of fog, just like this road here. It's foggy, and then 100 yards down the road it's clear. We've got hogs in 3 other systems, but we're nowhere near ready to trap those, so that's kind of how it works for us. We've got I think 23 systems up right now, and we just monitor and looking for that high number, and then get that consistency, and then we start focusing on that trap. So literally just coming up here, like I said, three systems. There's one system about 20 miles that way that we're honestly, it's a solo bore. His ears have been removed. We're not really going to deep dive into that, but we don't agree with that bull crap. I think that's bull crap. And that probably will rub some people wrong, but man, don't care. Very problematic. Anytime you screw with a hog and then let him go or her go, man, it just jacks them up. It'd be no different than us if, you did something to us. I mean, we're going to be all freaky and just a hard hog to trap. So he was in last night for about 30 minutes, pretty comfortable, which we were kind of surprised. So we're looking at maybe trying to take him. If he doesn't come in before daylight, then we're going to wrap up this smoke show here, and I'm going to head to the house and go to bed. I'm trying to look for my road. This is our first gate drop on this property. So we know the property. We've scouted it. We've been on it for several months now, but it is so foggy. I literally can't see hardly anything. So I'm doing like 30 miles an hour. But once we get on property, we'll go ahead and get out the thermal, break out the 22. Even with thermal, it's going to be tough with all this fog. And then we're going to put it to it. So this really shouldn't take very long. And it's unfortunate all this fog because it is a really beautiful night. Almost a full moon. So hang on. Well, as you can see, we got a pretty nice moon. So directly behind me is a crop field. We don't like where this trap is at, but we don't have anything to work with on this property, meaning the pocket of woods you shove it in. So it's actually on the edge of a field, which is something we would never do. But it's about all we got to work with right now at the current moment. So we're going to ease down through this field, do some thermal work. Wind's perfect. Wind's literally coming right to us. And then we'll drop down off the hill. The trap's right there. It's about a quarter-mile walk. Anyway, it is a beautiful morning. And I'm still trying to wake up and get rid of some of them hairy ninja monkeys. Hang on. So we're right here at the trap. They don't know we're here. Check out that moon. They're just kind of all laying down. Let me see if I can. There you go. One day I'll get a fancy scope that you can record. I say that all the time, but I just like my old Pulsar. This thing's 10 years old. There's a pond over there that I've been watching. It's still very dry here in South Georgia. But we're going to go ahead and ease on up. All right. I wasn't trying to be too sneaky. They know we're here. Let's just ease over here to the gate side. Foggy. Hey, fella. So what we had was 2 juveniles. And they were just getting where they weren't getting along. There's one right there. And then we had some little piglets, as we call it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them down. As you can tell, like I said, it's foggy. And I need to keep my ears tuned for this other system 20 miles from here. But 3-legged on-time fader, Jagger-Pro live video on a big pole. You can see it's got a pretty good oval design on the trap. It is a very old Jagger-Pro gate that we've modified. We actually did a video. This is an old flex panel system that Zeb made into a rigid panel system. We've already done a video on this trap. This is our first gate drop with it. So this system is 10 years old. The electronics have been rebuilt in the control box. But yeah, old system. So anyway, all right, so we're gonna get to it. Hold on. All right, that went down pretty smooth. So before we got on property, several months ago during deer season, the landowner, he was shooting these hogs. So we already kind of knew, what the group was. That we had 2 juveniles, 7 piglets. The landowner, once we got on board, doing our thing, then he knows that, hey, he can't shoot hogs anymore. That don't work. He got a single hog on camera a couple weeks ago, which was always a single boar floating around. That's just what they do. And so we kind of dialed down and we said, well, let's just see, because one, these guys were just coming in and out of this trap all day at night. It's good putting scent in there. But then we started noticing the juveniles were having issues. Like one would come in, one wouldn't come in. One would be outside walking around. And we're like, well, wait a second. You've basically been living in the trap, and now why won't you come in? Social issue. And we didn't want that to get any worse. So the one thing we can't put into a hog trap is hog scent. We just can't. We can put food, we can do all kinds of things, cameras, whatever, but we can't get, you know, hog scent in there. So anytime we can let hogs just kind of hang out in there, man, we're like, that's cool. But we saw the social issues and we didn't like it. And it was literally like hit or miss. Like one day they got along, the next day they didn't get along. I got to check the sexes on them to see if one was a boar, one was a sow. But anyway, so all that being said, we're going to buzz you around, show you what we got in there. And again, you know, if you're new to our channel and you're like going, well, I don't understand, you know, why is he saying, you know, blah, blah, blah about where this trap is at? I mean, this trap is in the edge of a crop field. You just don't want that. That crop field, when it comes online, is a food source. We need to be somewhere else. We just don't have anything to work with. We're literally on the property line. And we looked at some other little pockets of woods, but according to our landowner, this is typically where the hogs always seem to always like it, right here next to this pond. So we may end up like going to the neighbor and maybe, you know, hey neighbor, can we work? You know, we do that on a lot of properties. We actually end up being on the neighbor's land because you don't want to trap hogs in a major food source, and this is what we're doing. So anyway, let me buzz you around. I'm trying to, you know, folks, you got to stay with me, man, because I'm hurting, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I could lay down here in this wet grass and just probably go to sleep. But I do like trapping hogs, so hang on. All right, so let's start up here at the top. What we got here is a up and coming little sow. We got another little sow, and that is definitely going to be a little boar. And then over here, we got another little sow. Let's see. Got another little sow here. Now, juvenile. Juvenile is a sow. That one. And then here is the other juvenile. And that one's going to be a sow. So both sows, both juveniles were sows. But this darker one right here would kind of post up out here. Wouldn't come in. Couldn't figure it out. And then over here, got a little boar and then another little sow. So that makes 7 piglets, 2 juveniles. What the landowner had on his camera. That's what we ended up getting on our camera. Like I said, 3-leg on-time feeder, Jager Pro Live video camera. This is our old Flex system. Looking good. Glad to see it back in the field. And the mods we made to the gate, I don't know if we ever covered that in the video, but the old original, like the first Jager Pro gate, didn't have these braces in there. So we added those braces in. And then there was a bar that went across the bottom. We cut the bar out, and you can tell it's an old gate. Still works really, really good. Really happy with it. And then we're going to make some mods here, but over there you'll see that we got an ice camera on that tree. We're actually going to put us a T-post probably about right here. We really can't see inside the trap. And that down in there is just a great big wet hole. I mean, I guess it's a duck hole if you were a duck hunter. So we're gonna hump it back up that way to the truck, come down in here and keep monitoring this other system. And if that other hog don't come in, we're gonna go head back to the house, crawl in bed. All right, hang on. Well, we got them all lined up here. There's our 7 piglets and our 2 juveniles, which is all we've seen for months and months. And take a picture for our landowner, load them on the trailer there. And as you can see, it's still very, very foggy. And that other hog ain't come in yet. So I'm itching to head to the house. Hang on. Well, I'm pretty sure that's gonna wrap up tonight's or this morning's video. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I'm not spinning like a young boy on gummy bears, but man, I just want to lay down. Several years ago, if you're new to the channel, you may not know this, but several years ago, I got bit by a tick down in Florida. Got a rickettsiosis, try to say that 5 times fast. And then that turned into alpha-gal syndrome, which is a red meat allergy. So research all that. You might want to take those kind of tick bites pretty serious. So I'm a hog trapper that can't touch hogs. Carry an EpiPen. But when I got out of the hospital after 4 days, I was pretty sick. Got out. Man, the whole time I was in the hospital, I'd been watching this group about, 10 miles that way. And anyway, about 4 o'clock in the morning, I flipped the switch. Just got out of the hospital. Man, it seemed like a good idea at the time. And I remember sneaking across that field. I had no energy, laying in a hospital bed for 4 days and all that dope in me. And anyway, once I got up to the trap, I kind of got into it. And then the boss, she hit Life 360, and boy, it was on like Donkey Kong. So a little different now, but I kind of feel like the same way. I really do. Just beat. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Spread the love, not the hate. And hey, with these younger hogs, it's really hard. It is. At least it is for us. You know, they're just little bitty guys, man. And but they gonna turn into big hogs. That's the reality. And an invasive species, you know. And so I actually don't enjoy shooting any hogs. I really don't. About the only time I could even enjoy it, it's like we used to do years ago on our farm. You know, we sneaking through the swamp at night or day, you know, and just sneaking through and just, you know, it was that was kind of cool. I like sneaking up on junk. Not running thermals. I mean, just working the wind and, you know, getting down and dirty. But, you know, inside these enclosures and all that, nah, it's really more about the ability to figure out the puzzle. And then also it's about the landowner. You're doing them a service, you know. And again, you know, we are doing it right. We're trapping intelligently. We're learning our groups. We're making sure we're not educating hogs in the process. You know, could I have dropped on these guys right here and showed up at 10 o'clock this morning? Sure. But what about all the hogs that might walk up here and get educated? You know, what about the sun coming up? It's 45 degrees, but it's going to warm up here today in South Georgia, be about 76, you know. This ain't no way to be. You flip the switch, get your ass out of bed, go take care of them, even if you feel as bad as I do right now. That's my soapbox. Y'all have a great day. And appreciate the support, and we love feedback. Take care.